And finally, this year marks the 700th anniversary of the death of the great explorer Marco Polo. The Venetian merchant helped open up the Silk Route for China. A new documentary, In the Footsteps of Marco Polo, retraces his epic journey across China as seen through the eyes of an 83-year-old Stanley Johnson, the father of the former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson and his son Max. Our correspondent Michael Voss reports.
As a young man at university, Stanley Johnson set off with two friends on motorbikes to retrace Marco Polo's journey from Venice to Beijing. But they only got as far as Afghanistan. Now, 60 years later, accompanied by his son Max, he's finally completed the last leg of Marco Polo's route across China, thanks to a British-Chinese documentary co-production.
We were following the footsteps of Marco Polo. What was Marco Polo? He was the great bridge builder between East and West. He set out from Venice in 1370, got to Peking 4 years later. He was the big bridge builder. We wanted to emulate him symbolically and, of course, in a practical sense too.
They covered 4,000 kilometers in 6 weeks, experiencing a range of people and cultures, including regions and landscapes few Westerners have seen before. Most of the journey was by car, but there were camel rides in the desert and yak rides in the mountains. All this with Stanley Johnson now in his 80s. We caught up with his Chinese producer, Dan Chen, on Zoom. Dan, how relieved are you that this 80-year-old man, you managed to get him through 4,000 kilometers safely and in one piece?
When we, sent all the teams to the airport in Beijing last year, that is the most relief moment of my life. Marco Polo has done the journey 700 years ago. But, the Johnsons are taking it now, today. And it's not just repeating the road, because they're also experiencing a new China. So with that kind of cultural exchange and, engagement with each other, then we can actually know each other better and build a shared future for our generation to come.
It was a British production company, One Tribe, which came up with the idea for the film.
For me, the message is always the same. We are all human beings. And I think sometimes, particularly in times like we're going through now, where there is so many not great things happening in the world and with political tensions, people tend to forget that we're all human beings. And that's what this show shows.
The documentary had its premiere in London, and the producers are now adapting it into a 4-part TV series for global distribution. Michael Voss, CGTN.